Did you know Spain transformed from a financial crisis epicenter to one of the world's top economic powerhouses? Let's uncover the secrets behind Spain's economic resurgence, its thriving industries, and what makes its economy so resilient and dynamic. Let's start with a bird's eye view. Spain is rocking a highly developed social market economy. We're talking the 15th largest globally and the 6th in Europe. Impressive, right? As a key player in the European Union, the Eurozone, and big organizations like the OECD and the WTO, Spain holds its own on the global stage. In 2022, Spain was not just any player, it was the 19th largest exporter and the 15th largest importer in the world. That's no small feat. Spain's economy isn't just large, it's also diverse. You've got industries ranging from automotive to textiles and from chemicals to shipbuilding. Plus, the medical technology sector is thriving. And who could forget? Tourism. Spain is a top global destination, and tourism is a major moneymaker for the economy. Another feather in Spain's cap is its strong social security system, which takes up about 23% of its GDP. Think of it as a financial safety net that keeps the country stable and secure. All right, time for some real talk. The 2007-2008 financial crisis hit Spain like a ton of bricks. The economy took a nosedive into a recession, and things looked pretty bleak. Unemployment skyrocketed, with over a quarter of Spain's workforce out of jobs by 2012. The GDP shrank by nearly 9%, and the country was in a rough spot. But here's where it gets inspiring. Spain didn't just sit back and take it. The government requested help from the European Stability Mechanism, got a 41 billion euro credit, and started rebuilding. Fast forward 18 months, and Spain had repaid the credit. Talk about resilience. By 2013, Spain began to turn things around. The record trade deficit flipped into a surplus, a huge win after decades of deficits. Unemployment started to drop, and the underground economy, where millions work in the gray market, hinted that Spain's real GDP might be 20% bigger than official numbers show. Pretty impressive, right? Then came 2020 and the pandemic. Spain's economy took a hit, especially since tourism, a big part of the economy, shut down. But by early 2023, Spain bounced back again, with GDP reaching pre-pandemic levels in 2023. The economy grew by 2.5%, even as other Eurozone countries struggled. Spain is expected to keep growing at 2.4% in 2024. Resilient might as well be Spain's middle name. Since the 90s, Spanish companies have been spreading their wings globally, especially in Latin America, Eastern Europe, and Asia. Spain is the second biggest foreign investor in Latin America, just after the US. This global reach has given Spanish companies a competitive edge, especially with the growing interest in Spanish language and culture in places like Asia and Africa. Companies like Iberdrola in renewable energy, Telefonica in tech, and Inditex in fashion are making waves worldwide. Spain isn't just about big brands, it's also about world-class infrastructure. Ranked 10th globally, Spain boasts the second longest high-speed rail network, right after China. Spanish firms lead in transport infrastructure globally. Spanish civil engineering companies signed contracts around the world for a total of 40 billion euro in 2013, setting a new record for the national industry. The port of Valencia is the busiest seaport in the Mediterranean basin, and there are 4 other Spanish ports in the top 125 busiest world seaports. And let's talk about exports. Spain managed to turn a massive trade deficit into a surplus by 2013. Export growth continued, driven by capital goods and the automotive sector, making up 34% of GDP by 2014. Spain's export game is strong, with foreign sales rising every year since 2010. Despite slightly declining exports from fellow EU countries in the same period, Spanish exports continued to grow, and in the first half of 2016, the country beat its own record to date, exporting goods for €128 billion. From the total, almost 67% were exported to other EU countries. During the same period, from the 70 members of the World Trade Organization, whose combined economies amount to 90% of global GDP, Spain was the country whose exports had grown the most. In 2016, exports of goods hit historical highs despite a global slowdown in trade, making up for 33% of the total GDP. By comparison, exports represented 12% of GDP in the United States, 18% in Japan, 22% in China, or 45% in Germany. Spanish companies have also expanded into Asia, especially China and India. This early global expansion gave Spanish companies a competitive advantage over some of Spain's competitors and European neighbors. Another contribution to the success of Spanish firms may have to do with booming interest towards Spanish language and culture in Asia and Africa, but also a corporate culture that learned to take risks in unstable markets. The Spanish benchmark stock market index is the IBEX 35, which, as of 2016, is led by banking, including Banco Santander and BBVA, clothing, Inditex, telecommunications, Telefonica, and energy, Iberdrola. In 2022, the sector with the highest number of companies registered in Spain is finance, insurance, and real estate, with 2,656,178 companies, followed by services and retail trade with 2,090,320 and 549,395 companies, respectively. Another shining star is the automotive industry. Spain is the 8th largest automobile producer globally and the 2nd largest in Europe. And don't get me started on renewable energy. Spain is a world leader, especially in wind power, which became the main source of energy for the country in 2013. So, what's the secret behind Spain's economic success? It's a combination of resilience, diversity, and innovation. From bouncing back after a severe financial crisis to leading in renewable energy and infrastructure, Spain's economy is a testament to the power of adaptability and strategic growth. As Spain continues to expand its global reach and innovate across various sectors, it's clear that the country's economic future is bright and full of potential. Thanks for tuning in, and stay curious about the world around you.